G'day everyone, welcome to another video by myself, Andrew DFT. And by the title you can already tell that this is about a Destiny hand cannon and partly about a collaboration. That collaboration of course is with the fantastic duo Bill and Brittany from Punished Props. And if you haven't heard of them, then I'm not too sure which rock you've been hiding under. They create fantastic, top quality content, very professional, and give you guys the best possible chance to get in and start learning with the most effective and most intuitive ways possible. So if this is the first time you've actually heard about them, then please after this video go and check their channel out. And of course, subscribe to them. They create videos weekly, so there's bound to be something that you're definitely going to love from all their amazing content. So with them being located in America and me in New Zealand, two very different and far locations on this wide planet, we decided to do a collaboration by both building a gun out of foam, him EVA and me styrofoam, and creating something unique. So what we'll do is we'll both build a Destiny hand cannon and we'll paint each other's prop up. By swapping them, we can create two different forms of videos and get to share a cool collaboration on each other's awesome work. So to show you, this was my result. This is of course done out of styrofoam, which is a fantastic material, which all of the props behind me have been done by. And this was my nice result. A very cool looking Destiny hand cannon with quite a bit of detail. I did want to go all out to make sure he got the best possible prop, and I got to present the best I could give. Now because I want to assist you in the creation of this, if you were to go and do it by yourself, you can grab the templates, which I of course designed, and you'll see me go through that process. You can find them in the description box below. There's a link there, follow that, download the document and print it off and get started. You're welcome. But now if you want to know the basic process I went through, well, continue watching. Let's jump in and see how I actually went through making this. So the first thing I needed to do was to go find reference material. Luckily there's websites out there that allow you to gain the in-game models and spin them around in real time so you can see all the angles you want. Then I took a side shot and put it into Macromedia Flash. That's the software I use to make my templates. I then traced around all the major key detail pieces to really bring a nice template to fruition. Luckily, after that was all completed, I then managed to get it into a black and white form, a very nice blank template, and then chuck that into Photoshop. There I scaled it to make sure it would fit nicely on an actual page and that it was scaled to real people. Then of course it's time to create it, so I had to print out the template. Like I mentioned, it was all scaled, so we're all good to go. Then what I did is assembled the template and then started to use it as a negative space to break out where I need to go on the styrofoam. So initially all you need to do is take off all the additional detail pieces to get the main core piece. You can then apply that to the styrofoam and cut the main chunk out of the entire block. Once you've got that going, I managed to separate all the entire pieces that I knew would have different levels. I knew that the handle would obviously be a different thickness to the main core, so then I had to actually split them apart, shave them off, and then glue them back into position. That way they're all sitting at their different heights. Then all I needed to do was assess where on this design I needed to actually carve in or excavate some more pieces to really get a nice three-dimensional shape going on here. Once that was assembled, I then put the pieces back together to get a better idea of how far we were actually going with all the heights and everything, and then I carefully shaved/beveled off all the edges to really get rid of the 90-degree corners and make it look a bit more rounded. Then next I knew I had to add some detail. Rather than doing it out of something more sturdy, I decided to stick with the styrofoam so that way it was a more cohesive build. So I carefully, and very delicately, carved all these pieces out. It wasn't too difficult. I mean, you can achieve this pretty well with styrofoam. It is just going to be like mega fragile, so if you whack it against something, it's most definitely going to break, so do avoid that if possible. After that had been done, I knew I had to add some extra layers to really beef out what this gun should be. I then assessed that and cut the sections I'd need out of the template and then made new ones out of the foam core. This was going to be a section that would of course sit on both the left and the right hand side, but before I laid those in, I knew I needed to put a barrel in. Now, because I wanted the barrel to fit in and not cause too much damage when I'm actually installing it, I knew this would be a clever way to apply it. So what I do is I measured where it would sit, simply cut it out, glued it in, and then I knew that I'd be adding the detail to these final side pieces and then laying them on top, and that would actually hide and cover the damage we actually did to install the barrel. Kinda cheeky, but it worked. Then of course I had to add the bullet chamber. Now that was a rather difficult piece, probably the hardest part of the build because it's spherical and styrofoam. which two things that don't meet very well. But luckily, after a few attempts, this was probably the fourth one I made, I got one that looked nice and I installed it. And then all that was left was to carve out more very fragile pieces from styrofoam and slide them on to where they need to be. But thus ending the design, and I'm very happy with how it turned out, and I can't wait to see it being painted up. So of course, all that's left to do now is send this beauty over to the duo from Punished Props and get Bill to paint it up something nice. Of course. I'm sorry, mate, I'm actually doing a film here. You're kind of disturbing. Yes. What the hell?
I got you this.
Mate.
Trade.
Trade.
Hey, thanks.
The easiest collaboration ever. Oh my god. Well, that was easy. Well, I guess now that I have it, I better get started on painting it. Remember, this is a collaboration, so if you want to see the construction of this one that Punished Props have created, you can click the thumbnail at the end and you can watch their construction video. If you want to see them paint up the one I've just constructed, you can see that as well. And of course, my paint on their one will be a video on top of this. So definitely check out all the individual stages for the collaboration. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Of course, if you're one of my followers and have been for a while and you haven't yet seen the Punished Props channel, please go over there and hit that subscription button. I'm very sure you're going to love their content and there'll be something there for you to build or just learn about, I'm positive. And of course, now it's time to go paint this prop. So be sure to check out all the individual segments in this collaboration. And until then, catch you later.